What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rooted Collective. My name's Haley Bell.
And I'm Noura Atla, and today we're going to be talking about how to stand out during the first week of your internship.
So basically, we wanted to make this video for you guys to set you up for success as you start off your internship, because I know she'll be leaving pretty soon for hers. So I just wanted to give some tips on how to make sure you succeed during your first week.
So in terms of how to best start off going into your first week, what would you say is biggest tip number one?
I would say the biggest tip, first thing, your first week, you want to get close with your manager. Really find out about them, their role at the job, how they got into it, what they love about it, just the ins and outs of the company you can find out through your manager. And then from there, you can have them connect you with other people that they work with, other colleagues on the team. It really sets you up to have a good network during your first week.
Yeah, and I would say take advantage of the fact that you're an intern. That word is so powerful when you enter the space of being in this corporate space, right? In this corporate world, where you simply mentioning that you're an intern interested in having a one-on-one conversation with someone, it'll take you pretty far, and it can take you from having conversations with other coworkers in your department all the way down to folks on the executive level. And so you genuinely want to shoot your shot, right? With taking the chance to set up those one-on-ones with other individuals.
So for example, last summer, I had my manager make a list of just different people she thought that I should meet throughout the summer. And then I had a goal of meeting one person per week. But then with every person I met, at the end I would ask them, like, could you connect me to one or two more people that you think would be cool to meet? And so by the end, I was meeting like top level like security execs that cybersecurity, I have nothing to do with that. I'm on the YouTube creators team, like something completely outside of what I do, but they're still really cool people that I still reach out to now and that just have your back for whatever.
And set goals for yourself, right? Where you might tell yourself, let's say for example, I want to have one-on-one set up for every week during my 10-week internship, right? So by then, you've at least been able to network with 10 folks outside of your current circle, all the way down to being real ambitious and setting up one-on-one every single day, right? And I love that you mentioned the fact that you always want to ask for at least 3 recommendations of people that the current person you just networked with could connect you to. It makes it so much less mentally exhausting, right? Because you look at the idea of having to network with so many people, but
you don't have to. They do it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So I guess with that, let's jump into tip number 2. What would you recommend to folks outside of networking?
I think the biggest thing that helped me was just documenting every single thing that you do. Even if you think you did nothing that day, just write down like who'd you talk to, what were you up to. So what I did is I just made a giant document and I make it by week, and then I just put each day. Today I did X, Y, and Z, and I just did bullet points. And this really helped me by the end when I needed to tailor up my resume and go back and see like what did I actually do. Because those 12 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever, they go by super fast. But even if you get the metrics, you can see how much it's grown throughout the whole summer. So I think it's really important to document everything, not just the things you do, but the people that you meet, so you can remember them like once you finish the internship up.
I really love that you mentioned that, because I think that when you don't document these things, it's easy to overlook the amount of impact that you made, right?
The little things.
And to be able to have to remember that back, you remember it as something small, right? Because it felt like the usual for you.
Yeah.
But when you really do document that onto paper, it shows how much of an impact you were able to make. And metrics are huge, right?
Yeah.
Record those metrics, right? Recruiters are looking for that.
Even if you think it's small, it's not. And going along with that, I think that it's really important to advocate for yourself, even if you don't traditionally do that. Like, you'll never catch me bragging about myself like that. But how are people supposed to know what you're doing if you don't tell them, especially on outside teams? So one thing that I did was, my manager encouraged me to, is just like take what I did during the week and share it with the team in like the little group chat. Even if it's just something simple that you did, just share with them, because they don't know what you're doing every day. You don't tell them.
Right.
But all of that can add up towards the end when you're looking for that full-time offer. If you keep the directors and everyone in the loop, then they know that you did good work throughout the summer.
The thing is, you're not gonna see these people constantly,
No.
right? So to be able to loop them into that, it keeps you top of mind in comparison to all these other
Everyone
interns
else.
who may be doing really amazing work, but they're not projecting it out enough. And I think us as minorities, we tend to really downplay a lot of things, and we try to be humble about these things. But remember, now is not the time to be humble about those things. Be humble in how you state the things you do, but like, you still want to stick to the facts of this is the impact I was able to make. Because at the end of the day, you are working towards that full-time offer. I will say that, let's say in the case that you feel like the work you're doing is impactful, but you could be doing more, this is where you have to be proactive, right? State that, you know, I love everything I'm doing, this is the progress I've been able to make, but state the other ideas that you have, because at the end of the day, you are an employee at this company during this time, and you really do want to make sure that your voice is heard because it's truly valued. One thing I will say, us as Gen Z, whether it's, forget your generation, we all have different perspectives, and that is something extremely valuable that each of us brings to the table. So you want to make sure you want to make sure you take advantage of that.
I'd say the next thing that you guys should get involved with is just see the different ERGs or employee resource groups that your company has to offer. Basically look at it as like a student org or a club, but at a company.
So during my time interning at Fifth Third, we've actually got Fifth Third, the office I was working in, right across the street, but that's besides the point. I will say that it's essential that you get involved with things outside of your day-to-day, in your internship, in your project role, simply because of the fact that you're gonna meet folks that you'll develop these genuine relationships with, right? I think that we get so used to being in this project-based environment that we're being professional, which is great, but sometimes it's okay to let loose a little bit, right? And maintain this level of professionalism, but it's really gonna work in your favor because you're gonna meet like-minded people, you're gonna meet other folks who you relate to in areas of simply being a minority and seeing someone who looks like you in such a huge space, in a corporate setting, that is one of the biggest factors to motivate you. And simply showing up to these different social events that they're hosting outside of that gives you a chance to see people outside of what you typically may see them in. And it really does assist in that whole essential process of relationship building. You never know who you're gonna meet as well in those different ERGs. You're gonna meet folks who are in different departments that you may not have even thought it existed. All right, so that covers the tips that we've got for you all on how to make the most out of the first week in your internship so that you can stand out. But with that being said, we want you guys to take these tips that we've given you to develop a plan for the first week of your internship. So with that, whether you want to be ambitious and utilize each of these tips to taking, honestly, just small fragments, right? Make it based off of what's comfortable for you so that you can truly accomplish it at the end of the day, right? Do what's realistic for you.
And also let us know down below if you guys have any other tips of ways you've been successful in your past internships or projects that you've done. Share the wealth out here.
Yeah, definitely share the wealth. And keep us posted, right? Come back to this video. Let us know in the comments if any of our tips helped you. Because we'd love to see the progress that you guys have made.
And also leave a like if any of these tips helped you. We'd love to know and get a gauge of how you guys are feeling about these videos.
But with that, as we wrap up this video, don't forget to stay rooted.